We have Chaz Leitner with us today, and we have John Dotson with us today, and we're going to get into a number of communication product-related topics today. But the first thing I wanted to describe to you was that weird gadget that's sitting behind us. It's our background picture. What I asked artificial intelligence for was, give me a custom data cabling product, and this is what it rendered. And I think you guys pointed out it's always cool when you have something plugged into itself, right?
Yeah, and it works.
And it works, yeah. The bottom line is this is not anything that a customer we think is going to have us build, but if artificial intelligence ever comes along and asks us to, we can do it. We can do custom product like this. So what I wanted to do first was introduce Chaz Leitner. He is the machine shop manager that takes care of all of the metal products that we end up making. And he was really one of the first team members in our production group many years ago. What was it, mid-'80s, late 80s?
August of '88 is when I started here.
And what this gave him was an opportunity to learn the cabling products business from the ground up. And he then ended up, he leased some space in the same commercial building that we were in, just south of us here. I don't know if you knew that. But
no.
Yeah, that 10,000 square foot building. So we shared some space there. And then he went into a larger facility just north of us here and eventually bought a commercial building in our North Phoenix compound here. So he's part of our collection of buildings here, very close to each other, which makes it very convenient to get things done. He then shifted to a full capability machine shop and manufacturing type business, and he's responsible for all of the cool metal products that we have in the Gruber Communications Division lineup. This is his first appearance on our new Com Division podcast. I'd like to invite him, and maybe you can tell us a little bit of history with where you've come from and how long you've been with us and some of the crazy stuff that we've done together.
Well, I moved to Arizona right after getting a degree from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and I went to started work for a cable company here in town. And I started with Gruber because I wanted some extra money for Christmas. and next thing I know, 6 months later, I'm running manufacturing. And it was about a year after that I started running purchasing. And I was dating a girl, Whitney, and she was your controller.
Right.
And after that, we ended up getting married. And, you and I had a personality conflict, and I got fired. And
he reminds me about that all the time.
Well, that's the truth. And
I'm sorry, Chaz.
It's okay. And I got fired, and you said you didn't have a problem with my work. You had a problem with me, and you were really honest with me. And you said, you need to start a business and start on manufacturing all the custom products that we make. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I did.
By the way, Whitney and Chaz is not the first successful relationship that has been launched in our company. There have been many, actually.
Jerry, Joseph, and Pat?
Yeah. Oh, many of them, yeah. And but yeah, it's as we've grown, promotions came rapidly in the early days because of our rapid growth mode, and Chaz demonstrated a lot of skills and capabilities and commitment to growth, and he quickly rose to success within our company.
Well, to be honest, I mean, it couldn't have happened without you and Stephen Korf, writing me a blank check and telling me, we'll worry about how you're going to pay it all back later, because I had to buy the machinery. Mm-hmm. And now I have shears. We have 5 brakes, 2 punch presses that are multi-turret, and then we have a single turret. We have a laser rack machine, which we made in-house ourselves. Dave Talek made that for us. We do laser engraving and powder coating. Well, the only thing we don't do is powder coating, but we do laser engraving over the powder coating, and we do silk screening. Mm-hmm. We do everything in-house. The only thing we don't do is powder coating.
Powder coating, yeah. But that's coming. We keep looking for a building, right?
That is a bottleneck. That's the only problem with it, is sometimes you can get it done in one day, and then sometimes it takes 2 or 3 weeks.
Sure. We're going to show some videos later on of the shop, and then Chaz is going to explain what's going on. But in the meantime, I thought it's a good time to introduce John Dotson. And John, what's your story?
Wow. Well, I've been here going on about 8 years now. Been a great team to work for. Great organization you have. I started off, as you well know, pretty much working with you hand in hand when I first came here and learning the trades, the educational process within Gruber.
Oh, I remember having conversations with you, saying, John, we really need to get into these big distributor accounts. You know, we've got a lot of end users, we got a lot of installers, but man, these big guys just don't give us the time of day. And John took that challenge very seriously, and he began to open some major doors.
Yeah, and opening those doors was what would you say, a high mountain to climb.
It was.
Yeah. And so we had to open quite a few doors, climb up some hills, some mountains. We're still on our way up there, and it's going strong.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, these guys, the big distributors, you know, Wesco, Annixter, Graybar, I mean, we can keep naming them endlessly. They need our product. We know they buy it every day from somewhere. And here we are, you know, lifetime warranty, excellent product. And it's just educating them what we have and what we can do for them. And the best part is they don't have vendors that they can go to and quickly get something done.
No, our lead times are great.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that too. We're going to spend a lot of time on those topics, but so, John, anything else?
Just the environment and culture that is here at Gruber just passes along through department, and then on to our customers, and it just continues to grow that way.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, we're not afraid of high tech. It's one of the reasons that we're doing these podcasts, actually, is we have call centers. We have people that are dialing for dollars on the phones looking for, you know, new customers. And we always tend to migrate to embracing high tech, including artificial intelligence. That's why that background is AI. We use it quite a bit here. And that's part of what makes it fun, I think, to work here, at least for me, is that we're not just a static organization. We're willing to evolve, grow, keep up with the times, use new technology, embrace it, and have fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. And what you're talking about, new technology, Pete, when you started out, did you have any idea where this technology was going and innovation that would come across throughout the past 40 years?
No, when I started, the internet wasn't even around yet. I mean, we're going way back, you know. Disk drives were 40 megabytes, and they were the size of washing machines with three-phase motors. You know, you have that way beyond that even in your cell phone. The cool part about a commitment to being in business and anticipating growth is that you're open to all opportunities. And that's part of our culture here.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, it looks like we've got some comments. YouTube, Frank Leon says, Chaz, how you doing, my friend?
He's a good guy.
We initially have the friends chiming in, and eventually customers will come along, and, you know, this is still a small podcast, by the way. We have just under 170 subscribers. But if it's anything like our other podcasts, like Gruber Motor Company, for example, we're just shy of 40,000 subscribers just on YouTube. Then we've got Instagram, which is how much, guys? 63,000?
Over 63,000, yeah.
Wow.
Okay. And then TikTok, that's 150,000 almost, I think. So.
Yep.
And
Well, I don't even have a Tesla, and I watch your podcast.
well, cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah. All right. So
I learn a lot.
yeah. And we have fun with these podcasts and, you know, taking product to market, bringing in new customers, showing them the types of product we have. Now, John, you brought a bunch of stuff there with you. Tell us about it.
Yeah, you know, Chaz is our machinist here, and we just have a variety of different products that we do produce and manufacture for the consumer. This happens to be a 1U cable manager. Chaz, a little history in this. I've seen over the years, we're seeing a smaller footprint take place.
Yeah, it is getting smaller. One of the things I'd like to say about this ring is, I don't know if you can see this on camera or not. I'm trying to. These are smooth on the side, and what we do is we actually buy round wire, and we have it flattened.
Okay.
So the edges of it are nice and smooth. We shear it to size, and the only thing we have to do is deburr the end of this. That's a real time saver right there. Now, it's a little bit more expensive material because you have to have it annealed, and you know, because after you flatten it, that makes it harder. Then you have to stick it in a furnace and have it annealed, and that makes the material softer so we can bend it. And then after the powder coating process, it hardens it back up again to the point where now you can't bend it again. But they're spot welded on. They're usually spot welded in 2, sometimes 3 places. Other than that, these are getting smaller. We make a 2070 product that I don't think we have one here.
I don't have the 2070, but
Oh, yes.
yeah, there we go.
So this is a 2080, and this is a product that we make about 3,000 of these a month. Sometimes even more than that, thanks to you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And feel how smooth that edge is?
Yeah, so if you were using flat stock here, you'd say that you'd have sharp edges.
Yeah,
and you'd have the
so
deburr.
what ends up happening is if you, when you're pulling cables through there and somebody's not paying attention and you have a cold rolled material, this edge is really sharp and it'll tear the jacket on this, especially on fiber.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it alleviates a lot of the problems. We don't have to tumble them then to smooth the edges. It just makes everything easier.
And the cool part about this is our customers generally can dream up all kinds of variations, and we're able to meet their needs. Just recently, actually, we have a panel this is a 1U, which is 1.5 inches, right?
Yeah,
Then
1.719.
Okay. And then the 2U is taller, about 3 inches or so tall. And one of our customers decided, wouldn't it be cool if you guys cut windows in between these rings so we can attach cables from the rear and the front, or feed them out the rear? And we're still experimenting with that one. I know that the product's available, but we didn't get the sales initially on that. And that just means that we have to promote it more, which is what we're doing right now, by the way.
Yeah, correct. Now, Chaz, in regards to cable management, once again, how many cables can actually run through here compared to, say, the 2080?
Well, it's not based on weight. It's based on the size of the ring. And, how many are you comfortable shoving through there or fishing in? Now, this one has a large opening, so you'll definitely need to wire tie that so they don't fall out when you get too many of them in it. Because at that point, once you have the bottom of it completely filled, now it's naturally gonna want to spring out of there because it wants to hold its own shape. But you use a plastic wire tie, zip tie, and I've seen some of them. We did a bunch of them at Bell Atlantic years ago, and they had having brain death. I think they were 100 pair of cables that were going through those. But those were 2070s. That's the 2U version.
2U, okay.
Yeah, and that was they had hundreds of them running through it.
So no issue with weight, just a matter of the
never
bundle
an issue
itself.
with weight. You couldn't put enough. You can actually put that on a rack, and on its edge, you can stand on it.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so weight would never be an issue.
So the thickness of the cable has a lot to do, too, with how many of those you can pack into one of those cable managers.
Yes, sir.
This is the traditional, and I don't know what the U or what the measurement of this thickness is, but we have, is this the Mini 6,
That's
John?
the Mini 6.
209 thousandths
Correct.
is the standard size.
Okay.
Just under a quarter of an inch.
So we can get more of the Mini 6 cable into these cable managers, so they don't really need to be as large anymore, stick out as much.
Yeah, because if you notice in comparison to the jacket, there's about a 51% reduction that takes place in the Mini 6 versus the standard Cat 6.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are we finding that our customers are liking the Mini 6 cables? Is there migration taking place now?
There certainly is. Yeah, they're really enjoying the fact of for a couple different reasons. A, you can get a larger cable bundle, within your bundle system, but it also allows for easier airflow through your racking system as well, and then through that bundle. And something that people don't often think about is, since we ship this around country quite often, a smaller footprint leads to less expensive shipping charges.
Less weight.
Yeah,
sure.
much less weight.
Okay. Right. So yeah, custom is definitely one of our strong suits, and that's why we have that background there. Is our thumbnail is actually promoting custom product. So what else do you have here for us?
Well, here we have some rack adapters, Chaz.
Yeah, so this is we manufacture these. Basically, these are made out of the drop from other products. So you can get them in 16 gauge or 14 gauge. It has a PEM nut pressed in it. Are we allowed to use a?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, you can open it
it's a
up.
clinch nut, not promoting a specific company, but we do use PEM. And these are pressed in with about 750 pounds. And these are 1032 for the thread insert.
Yeah,
And
let's
there
open
you go.
that up. We can show. And And by the way, the PEM nut concept is a good one, because without that, what you'd have to do is have bolts and nuts. And you know how difficult it is to line up this many nuts on something and tighten it up and all that. Here, you just simply put your screw directly into it, and this is the nut, but it's affixed to the plate.
Well, what's nice about PEM nuts is they're made out of a hardened material, and the ones that we use on the racks, and the reason we switched over on our relay rack to using a PEM nut is we had customers that had cross-threaded another nut, a nut zert that we had put in it, and it ended up damaging that. So we switched over to PEM, which is grade, I believe it's a grade 8 or harder, and you can actually cross-thread a 3/16 bolt in it and remove the bolt by force, and the nut isn't damaged, but a grade 8 bolt will get damaged if you cross-thread it in it.
Grade 8 even.
Grade 8 will get damaged. So we do send out a grade 5 bolt. You know, even in an earthquake situation, they're not going to break, and the PEM nut won't get drawn through the material, because that would take hundreds of thousands of pounds to draw a nut that big through that thickness of material. But other than that, it's easier. We don't have to count out nuts. Our machinery for this is automated, so I mean we can PEM this in about 16, 18 seconds.
So what we're holding here, by the way, is, we should probably explain that. This is a 19-inch to 23-inch converting plate. So if you have a 19-inch panel like John has there, and you've got a 23-inch telco rack, this is the product that you would purchase along with that panel to allow it to mount into that rack. Very cool.
Speaking of panels, that's something else we could bring up. We do a variety of panels. This happens to be a DB25 feed-through panel. Put that here in front. Chaz, you make all sorts of other panels. You got
we manufacture approximately 325 different panels. We manufacture panels for connectors that aren't even made anymore. So this one's a DB25. We also have manufacture Keystone. We manufacture F panels. We also manufacture F panels that have D cut in them and then don't. ST panels, all the different fibers, SC duplex, L, all of the above. We manufacture still N panels. And that goes into, matter of fact, Cox Communications bought a bunch of end panels from us that went into one of their head ends.
Oh, very nice. And also, we do a lot of silk screening on those panels too, correct? As you can see here.
Yeah, actually, I brought another idea of what you can do with silk screens.
There we go.
So we can, we don't have the zooming capabilities here, but anyway, this is 5 different colors.
Oh, there's our zoom capability. Thank you, Chad.
And so the deal is that now this will get screened 7 times because there's 7 colors on it, but we can make the panel itself in literally any color you want, and then screen over top of that.
So the white is a powder coating finish, right?
Yes,
It's
sir.
very durable. And then in your silk screening operation, you actually apply all of these colors, including what looks like text, arrows, and the cool part is whatever our customers can dream up, we will execute and create. So it's up to our customers' imagination as to what we build.
That's exactly it.
I've got something here. There's an for you here. This is one of Chaz's improvements, actually. There are 2 of these, and this is called a rack rail. And these can mount into any width rack, 19, 23, because you have a gap in between. When I first found this product, it was an eBay product. And man, we're talking like 30 years ago when eBay first came out, I think.
This is one of our first products. I think this is our biggest selling product.
Yeah, that's true. That was the other neat part. So I saw this and I said, this is pretty cool. I'm going to buy one. And it was like $18 or something like that, nothing major. It came in, it had rattle can black on it, so it was still a bit sticky, and some of the packing material had stuck to it. There were no PEM nuts in it, there were slots. And you had hardware that came with it, and you had to mount the hardware in there, and, with a nut and bolt type thing. So we gave this a Chaz and said, Chaz, improve this. And did he ever? Not only now do we have a durable powder coating finish. Did you thicken it by any chance? Or is it
the original one was made out of, if you remember, it was made out of 16 gauge. and the arm on it was made out of 18 gauge, which was really thin.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't really support a lot of weight. Not that it really needed to, but it was easier to go up to 14 gauge material, and it made it bulletproof.
Yeah. And then the final improvement was putting a bunch of PEM nuts in here with the slots on the inside L piece, and now you could basically adjust this to various widths. I don't even know. You may have the specs. What is the depth that this comes or can go to?
I believe this one will shrink all the way down to a 20-inch, and I believe it extends all the way to 36.
Okay, all right. You know, people love these because what they could do now is they could put an entire PC in a rack, you know, laying it sideways. The old XT cases, for example. And virtually anything else from hubs to routers to any kind of, you know, components or equipment that needed to be in the rack without having a mount on the front.
Yeah, in regards to rack, what is the ability on those?
I'm going to be honest, I have no idea. That's everybody asks about the CPU shelves.
Yeah.
What's our weight capability on that? I believe that we're stating it at 75 pounds, but you know, our CPU shelf, I put them on a short 4-foot rack, and I use it as a ladder. You know, I'm 252 this morning. I'm 6'3", and I walk and I use it often.
Yeah, so custom product is definitely something. Jesse, can you pop up video 1? And what we're going to show you here is some of the equipment that's in the machine shop that is used to make product like this, and what some of the challenges are. And we had one of our social media guys, Richard, go over into Chaz's shop a couple days ago and took some real short videos, which we thought might be informative for this
This is in
podcast.
today's folder?
Yes, it's in the images folder. It's called Chaz's Shop and under videos. And in the meantime, we'll just talk a bit more
I'll
about
sit
some of the
back and drink a
products.
beer.
Yeah.
Boy, I think it's a little early for that.
They won't let us
there
do
we
that
go.
on a
There it is.
YouTube podcast. All right, here we go.
So that's actually one of these panels.
Yeah, this machine is a 3-foot, 17-ton diacro brake, and it is a dedicated machine. This is the only thing that this bends are panels,
Okay, all right.
and it bends basically a 90-degree lip, which makes that panel about 90% stronger.
Now, before it gets to this brake process, what other machinery does this piece of metal go through?
Okay, so that one actually has square corners on the end, so that went through the punch press. It starts out a 48 by 32 inch sheet. It goes into the punch press where we put in multiple tools to punch the holes, and it's kind of like Michelangelo said with David. You know, Michelangelo he's in the block of marble. It's just you have to remove everything that's not, you know, Michael.
Yeah.
Or not David. And so anyway, the deal is that through the laser you go in and surgically cut out each one of those holes, and the punch press actually hits that. It's one shot. That hole is 765 by 593. And it's the perfect size after it's powder coated. From there, they're broken out of the sheet, and they go through what's called a Ramco or a time saver, and that's just it's a big belt sander. What it does is it also roughs up the surface, and it removes all of the burrs off of it, so it's nice and smooth.
All right, we have there's an image coming up of that.
Oh,
by the
okay,
way.
cool.
Yeah, the Aramco. And these holes, these are keystone ports.
These are keystone holes, yes, sir.
So when you is it the laser machine that's doing the keystone ports?
No, this one is all punched because of the corners on the edge, on the ends of it. See how those are a dead 90 degrees?
Right.
So that machine has 2 punches, one that hits in the X at 90 degrees and one hits Y in the 90 degrees, and it leaves a perfectly square corner.
Okay.
The laser actually kind of slips around the corner and leaves a slight radius there.
Okay. And
That's how you tell which one's which.
Gotcha. Yeah, both machines are actually in use in the shop there. And with the punch press, you'd actually have to have a die for that particular.
Yeah, there's a punch and a die, and they're the opposite of each other, and there's actually a gap in between those. But what ends up happening is it when it hits, it's kind of like a scissors action, and it shears off the material. And there's only a 4/1000 gap all the way around it, so it leaves a really nice, clean hole.
Perfect.
So that's your tolerance is a 4,000?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and then with the laser machine, you can basically program what you need.
Yes, sir.
So there's some more versatility there without having to buy the punch and die.
Yeah, and there's very little gap there. It's when you program a half-inch hole, I mean it comes out exactly half an inch.
Right. We've got another video, Jesse. Let's go down the stream there. We've got number 2 coming up next, and this might be the Aramco actually.
Okay, yeah, so this is the Aramco, and this is actually a relay rack that's going through after it's gone through the rack machine, and it leaves the tapping head that, because it's all automated and tapping, when the tap hits, it kind of flours up the aluminum and gives it a burr around the where the hole is tapped. So what we do is we send it through this belt sander, and we'll hit all 3 sides of it, and then we use a grinder on the inside.
Gotcha. Okay. And yeah, by the way, when they open this thing up, it's got like a gigantic sanding belt in it, much larger than the one in your woodworking shop, you know? Let's go to the next video here, Jesse, number 3. And yeah, watching the rack rail machine tap is really cool too. Now, here it's coming out the other side.
Yeah, there's a brush on here that brushes the majority of the dust off, the aluminum dust. And there's vacuums. You can't really see that, but on the top and the bottom, there's actually a vacuum there that sucks the dust off of the belt and off of the brush.
And this upright is actually part of a relay rack, as they call them.
7-foot rack.
Yep, 7-foot rack, either 19-inch wide or 23-inch wide, depending on the base angles. And this is the finish.
Quick question for you.
Shoot.
I notice here we make aluminum racks. So why is the difference between aluminum versus a steel rack?
Well, structurally, there's really not much difference at all. It's aluminum because it's cheaper to ship. It does cost a little bit more, but you don't have, depending on the situation that you have. I mean, we have these in the city of Peoria down in their manholes, you know, where where wires are routed through, and the aluminum is powder coated, and you know it doesn't rust, it doesn't go to crap.
Sure.
But steel ones, that was one of the problems that they had. Is, you know, sometimes these manholes would fill up full of water, and then when they drain off, you know, the racks are so rusted you can't get the screws out anymore. The aluminum, it takes so long for it to corrode. It's just, you know, especially in Arizona, it takes so long to corrode.
Yeah, with our computer room furniture, basically, is what I call it. You know, the racks, the shelves, you know, all of that. We have 2 different metals available, like on the shelves. Kitchens, for example, stainless steel or aluminum is preferred, versus steel in most you know, data center applications. You've been around a long time. What are some of the reasons that people would go to aluminum or some other metal other than steel?
Usually it's just weight savings for freight.
For freight, okay, all right.
You know, and it's easier to fix, it's easier to put together. You know, you can have your 60-pound receptionist, you know, putting this thing together because it's aluminum, and I mean it doesn't weigh anything. And after it's assembled, you can, you know, you could have a young, you know, receptionist pick it up and carry it off.
Cool. We've got another image or another video there, Jesse. Number 4 next, I think.
Oh yeah, so these are fiber cabinet plates. These are SC duplex plates. Now most of them snap in. We do also the snap in fits just fine on this, but we also put in a hole just because some customers want to put the screw in.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
they all have a hole. It's a 256 thread.
Okay. Yeah, I've got mine up here as well. That's what that noise is. Let me turn that off. All right. Let's try video number 6. Actually, number 7,
skip-
Jesse. Yeah.
We're skipping 5 and 6.
Yeah, they're two that are very close together. Let's go right to number 7.
Oh, this is a 4-hole bracket. Now, what this does is this bolts onto the back of the relay rack, and through those holes you can put zip ties through them. Now, we make this in 3 different sizes. We make it in a 10-hole, a 7-hole, and a 4-hole. The 7-hole is by far the largest sale of these.
Mm-hmm.
But what's really nice about this is you can put a little zip tie through there, and you can you can literally, I mean, I've seen bundles in a 4-hole that are up to 4 inches of cables.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The finished product, does this get powder coated or is it
Yes,
no
sir.
finish?
Actually, after this part right here, it gets tumbled, and so they're truly baby smooth. And then from there, they get powder coated.
Gotcha.
That way, there's definitely no burrs, edges, nothing on it.
Okay.
And nothing to cut the zip tie, because if you pull the zip tie too tight, sometimes the inside of that hole will have a burr on it, even though you can't feel it on the outside, and that'll tear that off.
Mm-hmm. All right. What kinds of things do you prefer that we supply you when we get a custom design request? And of course, this means customers as well. Right?
You know what? I've gotten stuff from you guys that are on the napkin.
Yeah.
This guy right here?
That happens. Oh, that was AMC Theaters.
Yeah, this came to us on a napkin.
That came to us on a napkin.
Let's talk about that for a moment. AMC Theaters, all right? There was a change in the type of projector that some of these large movie theaters used. Harkins, I think, was another one.
Yes, correct.
And what was the brand of this new projector that became real popular?
Don't recall the brand name.
Mercury.
Mercury. That's correct.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think it
Which
was
the shelf
Mercury.
is named after, Mercury Shelf.
Right,
So-
right. So a customer comes to us and said, I've got this new projector. I need a shelf. It needs to be certain dimensions. And it came on a napkin. Right?
Yeah, he
Came
was
on a napkin.
sitting at home having breakfast one morning,
Yeah.
and just a light bulb went off, boing, and of course he just took it to fruition. He gave us a call. He sent the napkin in, and of course got with Chaz, and we needed some more direction and information. And Chaz, you kind of took it over from there as far as how the engineering of this went.
Yeah, I went over here to the Harkins Theaters, and I wanted to see exactly what the deal was. And here it is. It was an AMC theater that we were making it for. But I have a friend at the Harkins, and he let me in to see exactly what we were doing.
Okay.
And I got a better idea of it than looking on it on the internet.
Yeah, but isn't it nice to know that somebody can come to us with just a simple idea? It comes to fruition, and next thing you know, hundreds, if not thousands, of people are enjoying a movie that you had a hand in?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
but we made thousands of these things.
Yeah, these went all over the place.
The construction of this, was this using the laser machine to
Yes,
actually
sir.
do the slots? Okay, so that
Oh,
reduced.
I have a puncher that we could do that. When we first started, you can't tell the difference between the one that we did with a laser and the one we did with a punch,
Gotcha. All right.
because the order. Thank you very much. The order on it was so large that we actually had to use both of the punch presses and the laser to meet his time frame.
All 3 of them at the same time. Amazing. Now, it looks like there's a weld involved in this too. Talk to us about that.
So I'm certified to weld aluminum, copper, brass, stainless, and Canella titanium.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of those, I don't keep up to date on them, but I do weld quite a bit. And on these were their requirement was silicon bronze,
Okay.
and it has to be TIG welded.
Okay. Gotcha. And Jesse, I've got an image that
You
we
got
can
my
pop up.
fish in there.
Yeah.
I thought you were kidding about
No,
that.
that's serious. Yep, that was definitely part of it. Boy, where is that? I'm looking for the headers. I wanted to show you some of Chaz's welding skills here. Unless it's in a video. Oh, that might be.
I think it's in a video.
Okay, let's go back to videos then. And video number 8.
Yep.
Okay, let's go to video number 8 there, Jesse. Yeah, Chaz has been remarkable. I've known him for decades, and his welding skills are well beyond anyone that I've ever met. Tell us about this.
Okay, so I'm building a Trans Am, a 77 Trans Am, and I'm putting an LS7 engine in it. That's what that is.
All right.
And it has twin turbochargers on it. So I wanted to build my own headers for it. and I bought a polished, stainless steel kit on the internet, and I figured, they say anybody can weld it. Well, I don't think anybody could weld it because I used a lot of specialized tools in this.
Right.
But that's it. You can see the welds, and
clean as can be. And
thank you.
So the other side, and we don't have a video of that, but you were telling me that this had to be redone. Go ahead and tell us the rest of this story.
Okay, so when I built these headers, I didn't have the alternator on the engine, and the other side of the engine, the alternator hangs off on the left side of the engine,
Right.
and when you put the header on, it goes right through the alternator. Thank you for that, by the way.
So rather than move the alternator, which would have been an act of Congress, you're actually going to remake
Yeah, I'm just
the
going to make a new
headers,
set of headers. And this, believe it or not, this was really cheap. I bought this kit
Yeah.
on eBay, and I would have never thought that it was as quality as it was. I was really shocked. But I also found out that it came from Daleville, Alabama. It didn't come out of China.
Right.
So
the customers that we have for this custom product, I mean, there are a variety of them, and one of them is actually Tesla. I don't think we have a video of that, but I've got a short form video. If you want to go to the YouTube website at some point, folks, look at the short videos, and there's the Tesla part in there. But I wanted to show you another part that actually involves Tesla. It's this little plate right here, and what this is going in our battery bunker. And what we needed was 2 banana jacks here, a fuse holder here, and a DC to DC converter with this exact dimension here, and a couple of mounting holes. And what Chaz was able to do, of course, was make me about 50 of these. We have a number of them now in our battery bunker over at Gruber Motor Company, and they're fully operational. What this allows us to do is to keep battery sheets out of a Roadster or a Model S or the later models on life support, and do charging at the brick level. And since Chaz also has a laser engraver, he actually put the company name up there, as he did with Tesla. Pretty cool.
That's actually engraved. You can't feel it on TV, obviously, but you can feel it. I also manufacture these medals for my wife, if you can see that. But that's actually dug into the surface, about 15,000. So on some of them, and I can do multiple layers.
Yeah, you can feel the depression both on the lettering here and on here. Very cool. So I guess I think we've made our point. Anything that you guys can dream up, we will create. Just give it to us on a napkin. Give us CAD drawings, anything in between, and we'll make it happen for you. So John, you brought some cables here too. What is this all about?
Yeah, we brought in some cables, some copper cabling here that we have in regards to, we've already talked about the Mini 6 and the Category 6, and we get into some fiber. This is one of our newer fibers. It's an OM4 in mauve, something we haven't seen too much of. Primarily, I believe this started in Europe, if I'm correct.
A designer color
Yeah.
in fiber. Okay.
Starting
the
to see more and more of this.
Yeah, the traditional approach is where you get this orange for multi-mode, and yellow was single mode for
correct.
telco, voice, and the other was data. So what's this mauve thing all about?
It's just options for coloration and color codes that you can have in your own data center.
Mhm.
We're seeing more and more of this in a variation of rainbow colors that's out there.
Yeah.
This just happens to be one of the latest that we're working with and that we're producing.
Now let me give you another color preference thing. You could almost call that purple, could you not?
We could, yes.
Yeah. We have a sports team here in town that has us make cables in a particular color, the Phoenix Suns. Their team color is purple, and every cable that we send over there is a purple cable. So if they start going into fiber, I suppose they would be interested in this.
Oh, certainly.
Very cool.
Yeah, my buddy Paul Patel, he worked for American Express for a long time, and one of the things they did was he did security, and all of the cables that were related to the security division were a different color than the others. I mean, they were all in red.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it's a great way to color code in your wiring closet. You're going to have a number of things streaming through there. You're going to have communication type, signals. So you have one color. Then you have security. That could be another color. Voice going through there. And
Correct.
it just makes a data center very organized and very efficient and rapid troubleshooting because you know exactly where to go. You know, some of the things that I like best is when you go into these basements of these large co-locations and you see all the plumbing from chilled water systems. You actually have pipes that are like a rainbow of colors, and each one has a very specific function and purpose.
Yeah, and we go as far as to say and we can change the coloration of the boot scheme. So if you wanted all blue cabling with yellow boots, and you could do a boot to represent any sort of color scheme, whether it's yellow, blue, red, green, gray. So you can mix match and just your own scheme to designate cablings.
Very cool. What is this one all about?
Here we have a 24 strand up here.
So this is a fiber cable and 24 strands, right?
Yep, we got 24 strands on here. As what you can see here, they all are designated with a cable label to represent each one of those. This is also known as a distribution cable. And it comes with a more of a ruggedized outdoor kind of a jacket to help protect the fiber itself. So for instance, I don't know if you can see this here. If you see the actual fiber itself, it's probably about the width of a hair.
That's something
As
you
the
can
glass that
zoom
comes
in
up
on.
here.
Oh, there, Jesse. Yeah, there we go.
If you could see that too well.
Well, I can see it from here. If you can picture, there's a tiny piece of glass right here,
You
glass
gotta
strand.
hold it back kind of at your face level. That's where the focus is of the camera.
Oh, gotcha.
And it's kind of keying out with the green screen. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
It's okay.
actually, I can see it.
Can you see it there?
Yeah, when it goes into my glasses, there's, you know, that's the reason I'm wearing sunglasses. The lights are so bright.
But
I wanted to be mysterious.
when you can see it, it seems like it's very thin, very delicate, but actually has a pretty well good bend radius on here. As you can see there, will not break, you know, depending on the accuracy of the bend.
It's about the thickness of human hair,
Correct.
and that's the core and the cladding. The core itself inside here, and we had a picture of this up actually in the last podcast. It's something that the other team brought. But yeah, you have this tiny little glass strand, and I don't think I'm on the camera.
there you
There we go. And yeah, you can actually do a 90-degree bend on that, like a radius. And the physics here are that for the longest time, people didn't think that you could bend light. And it turns out that...
Be careful of the time machine.
Yeah. In the 1800s, someone discovered that if you shine light through a stream of water, that the light will follow the stream as it's coming out of the bucket. And that was really the basis behind now starting to think about transmitting something through glass. And Corning, I guess. In fact, I think we have some write-up on that. Corning was one of the ones that pioneered this. Looks like we've got some comments. Why don't we go through those? It looks like YouTube. Janie Herndon says, "Good morning. Love the video showing it happen." Thanks, Janie. And then YouTube Highlander. He says, "Hi, gang." And Highlander's favorite phrase is a motto that we've adopted. Kindness is always free. Yeah.
Nice.
He also says, "That looks like nuclear submarine grade welding to me. Awesome job."
Thank you. Thank you.
So was that JB weld you were using?
Yes, that's it. That's it.
All right. So I think we've gone through most of the props that we have on the table here. And let's see what else we've got for you guys. We've got a bunch of content here regarding structured cabling. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to cover before we get into some of the theory behind some of this?
I did kind of want to get more into our private labeling and what we do with that.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you had mentioned to me earlier today that we should talk about the fact that we do a lot of private labeling, and here's a panel that's a good example of this. Although it doesn't have the customers, it does have the customer's name on it. There we go. If you want your name on the product that we make for you, even the standard product that we have on our website, we can do custom labeling for you on cables, silk screening on panels, or virtually anything that that you can imagine. Now, I was curious when you said, let's talk about our custom label, that capability. And I thought, how much of this have we done over the years? Because we've been in business doing this for 37 years or so, right? Well, I went to the folder where we collect all of the customer logos that we have ever done for them. And you know what it came up with? 5,759 files.
Wow.
And these are all unique. These weren't multiples of the same customer, because this was the customer's folder. And then within those folders, there may be an additional set of, custom product that we have done. So I didn't realize that we're over or close to 6,000. And then you were saying,
the
stuff that
the
you
silk
say.
screen, the Mylar, the screens the artwork that we used to burn the screen. I have more than 1,000 of mine in the safe.
And of course, the reason the customer might want private labeling is because they're promoting their company. They want a brand, they're building up their brand, they want a brand identity, and we are the OEM for that type of product.
Correct. And here's something, you stop to think about. We always put our name on our email signature, correct? We have business cards with our name. We have our invoices with our name on it. But what happens? Emails get deleted. Business cards get put away in a drawer somewhere in your desk. Invoices get filed away either on your desktop or in a filing cabinet in an accounting department. But if we private label your name onto the product that's going into the infrastructure, you can't put that in a desk drawer.
Right.
You can't file that away, somewhere. So one of the big benefits is just how prevalent somebody's name can be out there in the working world.
Well, a good example is one of the laser that we have that cuts our product. It has Amada's main number lasered right onto the product.
Right.
So it's and you can't remove it. I mean,
Right.
you can paint over it or put a sticker over it, but it's on the product.
Right.
So you're going to build a computer room or do something. You can take a panel like this and put your name across the entire thing, and you can literally put screws in it. And not that I would say do this, but you can actually put a longer bolt into it. And we have a company that does that. What they do is they bend the bolt over, so this isn't removable from the rack.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
And from there, it's your name's not getting removed off the rack. And it took up some real estate, so now they have us laser their name onto the side of the rack rail.
In the world of advertising, it's all about visibility. That's why people pay thousands of dollars a month for that billboard that's over here on Deer Valley Road to have their company name up
You
there,
bet.
or that lawyer's picture, and let us get you the money you deserve. Whatever the advertising method is, it is powerful. So one of the things that I've always encouraged our salespeople here to do is we have two different types of product. We have, three actually. We have the custom logoed product for our customers, private label in other words. Then we have our branded product, which has our name on it. And then we have generic product. And this is for the few customers that don't want any visibility on that product, all right? My complaint has always been, and I'll go on a rant here maybe, or maybe not, but with the salespeople that are selling this generic stuff, not realizing, because it was convenient, in fact, at one point it was even a little bit cheaper because the silk screen cost more. So in order to prevent that, we actually made the generic more expensive to discourage that incentive, right? We sold a bunch of cool custom panels like this to Sandia Labs. For those of you unfamiliar, this is one of the largest federal, installations in the United States. A whole bunch of custom product without our name on it. And when I asked the sales rep, why? Well, I didn't think of it, it's a little bit cheaper. And I'm thinking, within the next 5 to 10 years, somebody's going to need more of that product. Are they really going to be able to find us and remember where they got it from? Probably not, right? If it had this name on it, what would they do? Especially in the information age now.
Google.
They'd immediately Google that. Here's a company that makes this product and a whole bunch more product like it. So anyway, getting back to the reasons for private labeling, for branding, and putting your name on something, it's invaluable.
We can also add the fact you put anything on a label. So we have a lot of customers that prefer to do serialization on their cables.
Good point.
And just any other pertinent information they would like to have on there. Sometimes you see their phone number. So it's easily accessible. Someone has a number right there to call when they need help.
Sure. Yeah, you figure in a call center, you've got a bunch of cables. Well, they broke one. They need another one. They've got a new station. If they went to the existing cables and they found a phone number and a brand on there, they'd know exactly where to go to buy that again.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember the signs you used to put around the office? This was the early 90s.
Yeah. Well, tell us about it.
Which would you prefer, generic cola or Pepsi Cola? That's it. And it didn't make a lot of sense to me until I started to do my own thing, and then I'm doing my thing for you. I'm doing your thing, and then it really started to make a lot of sense. That's very true.
Yeah. Sure. And the thing that I always picture with this private label or branding stuff, you take your average co-location operation. I mean, we literally now have acres and acres of high-tech type building with access floor, with super clean, state-of-the-art equipment, security, redundancy with power and all of that. These are the first-class technical facilities on the planet. And here you have a bunch of racks, and you've got all the major brand names there, Cisco, Hewlett-Packard, right? Yeah. Well, what if our brand is sprinkled right in amongst that? By association, we now are elevated. And that's the reason that I've always been a proponent of branding.
Yeah, and our customers can elevate themselves in the same manner.
Exactly, with private label. Yeah.
Correct. So don't we have a guest speaker coming on shortly?
We do. Let me go get him. I'll be right back, okay?
So Chaz, talk a little more in brief time here about your facility. Let's get more into what have you seen as far as innovation goes in equipment throughout the past 40 years?
Innovation, everything changes.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't give you one specific thing because everything changes. We used to... manufacture, the majority was RS-232 panels. Mm-hmm. That stopped for about 4 or 5 years. Now it's probably 10% of my business.
Oh, wow.
Keystones have never, ever gone away.
What about the future? What do you see innovation coming 10 years from now?
I'm going to see everything going more to fiber.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just a transition.
It's almost going to fiber.
Some of that is copper's great, but it is limited.
Copper is a pain in the ass. You got the same problem with fiber. If you have it under a floor and you kneel on it, you can break it.
Yeah, you'll crush that.
Yeah.
All right, our special guest is here.
Oh,
do we have a screenshot of him as well?
All right, where's Marty?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got Dr. Emmett Brown in studio.
How you doing, guys? So what I was trying to do here was I was trying to put a flux capacitor into a Tesla Roadster, and it wasn't working out real well.
Oh, that's heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, let's put that up here as a sample. So what are you guys talking about? What's going on here this morning?
Oh, we're just talking.
I got him going.
Can we show
I've
him
known
again?
you for 38 years. I've never seen you with hair.
Good point.
Look at that. There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
There we go. Show us your great Scott face.
Do I have that bump on my head here? Yeah. And what was that from, Chaz? What was
That
it?
was he smacked his head on the sink or on the toilet, or
okay.
That's when he had the revelation of
with the flux capacitor.
The flux capacitor.
Yeah,
which went into the DeLorean.
Yeah, there we go.
I was going to say, don't push the time machine off the edge of the desk.
Yeah. The new Cybertruck is going to have the same kind of skin on it that this thing does.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's unpainted. It's going to be, but theirs is aluminum. This was stainless, right?
Yeah, correct. That was stainless.
That's what I thought. Hey, by the way, there's a car show first Friday of every month up on Happy Valley and 19th Avenue, completely free, a lot of good restaurants. I'm going to start going there.
19th Avenue and Happy Valley.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, in that big plaza up there. There's a good mellow mushroom up there, good beer, good pizza. What more could you ask for? Mm-hmm. So it looks like we're coming up on an hour here. Do we have any other comments from any guests? Oh, this here looks good. You know what? I might just keep this. What do you guys think?
Like I said, 38 years. I've never seen you with hair.
This might just work.
You know what? Doc Brown, you had lots of those great Scott moments throughout the movie series.
Yeah.
Pete, what's your great Scott moment in regards to our lifetime warranty? What brought about that?
That's a good point. All right. So when we were first starting to make this type of product, I got to thinking, how do we differentiate ourselves from all of the other competitors out there? And there were some big ones. Remember PFT?
Oh, yeah. Bell Atlantic.
Chatsworth, I mean, on and on and on, right? So I thought, what are they not doing that we could do, which is always a trick in sales. You're always trying to find something that distinguishes you from the competition. One day I was at the mall here. I was at Sears, and I was going through their tool section. I, pick up a tool and I go, lifetime warranty. Lifetime warranty? Now that's pretty cool. That means that whenever that tool, that piece of that screwdriver, that diagonal cutter breaks, I can bring it back here and I can get it replaced for free. Then I started thinking risk management, right? What would it cost us to make lifetime warranted product? And it occurred to me, how often will somebody send back one cable, because it has a lifetime warranty? Probably not that likely. And with the quality that we put into everything we make, this stuff is going to last forever anyway. So we were the first ones in the comm world that introduced lifetime warranty on anything we make. Now we have to be careful there because we buy resale product too.
Sure.
I can't give lifetime warranty on that Cisco router, right? Or the whatever other product that we've merged. But anything that we make, that we produce here, that Chaz makes, has a full unconditional lifetime warranty. And you know what? Did you hear the story this morning? Somebody yesterday actually brought back a cable. It was a fiber cable.
Oh yeah, I had that happen on
Tell
Friday.
us about it. Yeah.
We had a customer that came in and we did some rework on a launch cable. Added some new SC connectors with an APC polish. Everything went smooth on Thursday. He picked it up. He drove back to a job site, which was up in Prescott, about an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
And then he plugged everything in and it didn't work. And so he played around with it for a while and it didn't work. So he called me about 11 o'clock on Friday morning and we decided for him to bring it back. So he drove back from Prescott. We took a look at it and we determined that it had been scratched. The fiber itself had been scratched. And so we did a repolish for him at no charge, tested it out, make sure everything was working well. And then we gave it back to him and he went back up to Prescott. So we could work over the weekend on this job. So again, we have a warranty program for our work, our labor, and so that's what we were using in this regard.
And we honored that lifetime warranty, even though it had been scratched. Now, bear in mind, anything that we make here has full test reports.
Correct.
So we knew when it left here, it was 100% solid.
That's correct.
But it didn't matter. We take good care of our customers, and we know that when we do that, those customers are going to come back.
And they do.
Yeah.
Well, we sold a bunch of relay racks to Dow Jones. This was about 6-8 years ago, and they said they didn't get any of the screw packs. And we weigh all of ours to the half an ounce. So I know that because the screw pack weighs 10.5 ounces. And I know for a fact that they went in there because if it doesn't weigh enough, we have to open it back up.
Right.
And we aired them new screw packs. And then we got an apology from them. Their facilities manager boxed it all up and threw them all away.
Oh, okay.
They needed them right away, and they went down to the dumpster and they found all of them.
Good deal. Yeah. So yeah,
Nice.
lifetime warranty, folks. You get it here,
Take a
and
look.
we will honor it. Oh, we've got some more comments coming in.
Well, no, the backup cooling on data centers. That's not my department, but
Okay.
the other one is Casey Patton. Gruber's used 55,545 feet of violet fiber since March of 2020.
So this guy right here.
Really? Okay.
55,000 feet.
That's quite some quantity. And then Highlander's asking, can you touch on backup cooling for data centers? That should happen Friday at the Gruber Power Services podcast. They're the ones that design and build computer rooms and service everything that is in them. And we can certainly go into greater detail on that in that podcast. Well, as Dr. Brown, I'm pretty impressed with what you guys are doing. And these podcasts, by the way, are intended to be informative. They're intended to be fun. And we appreciate the engagement. And as this grows, we're going to get a lot more comments from people and, of course, questions. We do our best to entertain them. Let us know where you're coming in from. That's always good, too. And as our subscriber count grows, so will the platforms that we're streaming this on. That will begin to grow as well. We will have special guests from time to time, like Chaz here today, and appreciate you coming in and
Thank you,
giving
sir.
us some
I
background.
appreciate you offering. This was
thank you,
fun. I
Chaz.
had a good time.
And then, John, thank you for joining us as well.
You're welcome.
So we will see you next Monday at same time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard or Mountain Standard, depending on whether we're on daylight savings.
We're on Arizona time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much.